Hey guys, how's it going? Luke from A Taste of AZ. On today's episode of the podcast, we've got the awesome people over at Shrubwell. They're making what are essentially cocktail mixers, but can be used with sparkling water to create some wonderfully refreshing drinks. Make sure to follow Shrubwell on social media, as well as A Taste of AZ. Make sure to subscribe to the channel below and give the video a like. Let's jump into their podcast.
We are here with the amazing folks behind Shrubwell. You got the setup is awesome too. I mean, your background, you've got your whole line of products. Was this deliberate?
Maybe a teeny.
That is awesome. So, well, first of all, what are your names?
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Chris. And yeah, we're a husband and wife. We're the two behind Shrubwell.
Yeah. What is in a quick pitch? What is Shrubwell?
So Shrubwell is a tart and fruity drink mixer that is great for making cocktails with or without alcohol.
Yeah, excellent. I like that. So you can just drink them straight up, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We like to just mix them, particularly like with sparkling water. That was the way that we really like to enjoy them. But they're also fantastic for making cocktails. We have some here.
Nice.
that we
So
got
jealous.
This morning.
Yeah, we figured why not get started.
Yeah, it's Monday, you know. I'm actually disappointed you guys are starting so late. It's only 7 a.m. for me.
we have, the uppers here too.
You guys are prepared. You guys are prepared. Yes. So that's cool. It's the 1 year anniversary, but it seems like you guys have already made a huge impact on this food and beverage scene in Arizona. So that's a testament.
You.
Yeah. Absolutely. Where did this start? Like, where'd you have this idea to start this?
Yeah. It really was just like so many things in our life that pointed us into starting Shrubwell. We definitely, I don't think we really set out to own a drink mixer company. But it's been a really cool journey, watching it all come together. Our biggest motivation really was, we've been big food nerds, since even before we met, and it was a big part of our attraction when we met, and we've been exploring, food together ever since.
Whenever we travel, we don't really plan a whole lot. It's just kind of based around where we want to eat or what we want to eat, what we want to drink, what brewery we want to go to. So that's just been a big part of our lives and something that brings us a lot of joy.
Yeah, craft beer in particular was something that we shared a love of. And, as we would travel, it's like there's always, new breweries to discover, some of the big ones or even just some of the cool niche local ones that we find. And, as we just enjoyed all these experiences, we have watched the Phoenix food community grow so much over the years, and we feel like we've been there at like the sidelines or the bar tops, cheering everybody on, and it's been so neat to watch everything grow here. So we feel like we've been a part of it, but just as big supporters. And I think I've always been interested, in contributing something back to it all, but I never really knew what. I had an interest in cold brewed coffee back in 2007, and had looked into maybe bottling some coffee and things, but I got distracted.
Yeah.
And with this, that was just one of the another thing that kind of pointed us towards it. And before Shrubwell began, we had started. Courtney's always been an incredible cook, and she had started getting into cocktail making at home and branching out into that, and had also started getting into brewing kombucha.
Ooh,
and that was
nice.
something that we had started to really geek out on quite a bit.
Yeah, it was just a great opportunity to play with flavor pairings. I would make a huge batch of kombucha and then separate it out into different bottles for the second fermentation, and I would add different berries, different fruits, different herbs, different spices to each one. And then, you know, in a couple days I would taste and kind of get an idea of what works, what doesn't work. And it was a really good precursor to shrubs because of that acidic flavor profile.
Okay.
It can be difficult to work with. Not every fruit works with it. Not every herb works with it. So it was a great practice for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it, you know, it was before we had even really knew what shrubs were. It was just another one of those kind of building blocks that led us to Shrubwell. But you know, one of the biggest factors was that we had decided to take a little bit of a break from drinking alcohol, and it was, you know, life kind of forced us to. We actually on our travels to Costa Rica came home with an infection from spending a little too much time in some really lovely hot springs.
Okay.
But we ended up on some pretty gnarly antibiotics that took a long time to get through. And, you know, to do the best to get well, we took a break from drinking alcohol, as well as, you know, caffeine, no more coffee, and, you know, kind of gave up our vices.
Tough gig for foodies. Yeah. Okay, all I need you to do is just quit everything you love. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I can handle that.
You know, it's like in picking up the pieces of that, it's like, well, what's left out there? You know, and it really gave us this fresh perspective on, you know, a lot of the places that we would go to were focused on, you know, they had great food, but the beverage was a big lure too. Yeah. And we started to find a lot of non-alcoholic options were lacking, you know, or often just an afterthought.
All these places we loved, we would go back to when we weren't drinking, and we were like, what are we supposed to drink here? This what, seltzer water, Coca-Cola,
iced tea, lemonade. So it pushed us out of our comfort zone, and, you know, got us to kind of rethink some things. And
how long ago was this? If you don't mind me asking, how long ago was this that happened?
So two summers ago.
Okay.
I believe it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we kind of, you know, with kombucha brewing, we really started to focus more on that, because kombucha was something that we could lean into and enjoy. But, you know, you can only drink so much kombucha before, you know, maybe there's some gastrointestinal consequences.
That's a great way to put it. A very good way to put it. Yeah.
You know, or for me, like I as I've gotten, you know, older, I am a little more sensitive to caffeine. So,
and
you know,
beer.
Beer as well doesn't sit with me as well as it used to. And, you know, so having, it was really like, I wanted to enjoy something with dinner. And that was a big motivation for, you know, for us to start experimenting with something beyond kombucha, you know, and really was searching for, like, just our own, I guess my fussy palate in particular. Courtney, you know, loved making cocktails for me, you know, but I was like, well, this is nice, but it's too sweet. Or
always too sweet. Always too sweet.
Yeah.
You're like, it's vinegar. It's literally beer, white vinegar.
So I love that bitter flavor profile. So I really like it.
We were both hopheads. Like, our love of IPAs was something we bonded over right away.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know, in cocktails, you know, I would enjoy them when I go out, you know, but it was usually the more bitter ones that drew me in. And you know, when we just started experimenting with stuff, we had, you know, some success, but it was always that it's still too sweet. So it was actually during this time we were traveling more, and we were actually in Japan. Courtney bought tickets to Tokyo for my 34th birthday.
Surprised him with a trip to Tokyo.
Or 33rd birthday.
33rd, yeah.
She's a great cook. She's buying you trips to Japan. Like, you got a good one. You got a good one, Chris.
I'm very lucky. You know, we really enjoyed being over there, and it didn't coincide with when we were taking a break from alcohol, but we discovered, you know, a totally different kind of drinking culture there in Japan. And one of the things that we liked, you know, is that a lot of cocktails tended to be lower ABV, or almost like watered down in a way, or watered down whiskeys with seltzer. But we started coming across different vinegar-based cocktails and things there, and we really hadn't.
And just drinking vinegars in general, non-alcoholic options.
Yeah,
there's just a lot more over there.
So that was probably like our first introduction to, you know, the idea of drinking vinegars, and we really enjoyed it. But it was, you know, ultimately something that we came back, and it was on another trip we came across the idea of shrubs, and we had no idea what a shrub actually was, but it was under that non-alcoholic section on a restaurant menu. And you know, I had to have one, you know, whatever this was. Then they explained it to me, and I was sort of skeptical about it. This was back in the States.
Oh, okay.
And this was when we had come across an actual thing named a shrub on a menu.
Yeah.
The first time we saw shrub on a menu.
And we're able to kind of put a name to it, you know, and because it was under the non-alcoholic section specifically, it had caught my eye. And when they explained it to me, you know, it was fruit and apple cider vinegar, and they said they mixed it with sparkling water. So it sounded really interesting, you know, so I tried it out, and it was pretty good. It was compelling. I liked how crisp and tart it was. And we took that, you know, that idea home, and it wasn't too long before we tried making a batch.
Yeah, we started playing with flavors with it, but at that time we were using apple cider vinegar because that's the traditional base for an American style shrub.
Yeah, and we went out and, you know, and tried to find really good, fancy, fussy apple cider vinegars and tried different batches, and each and every time it wasn't very good.
The fruit just didn't come through enough through that cloyingly acidic tart flavor of the apple cider vinegar. It just took over everything.
The vinegar had just such a punch. It was really hard to overcome. And you know, we kind of shelved it for a while. We're like, you know what, shrubs, I don't know.
Back to kombucha.
It's not for me. Yeah.
We tried. We put the effort in. Yeah.
So, you know, it was interesting, the very beginning of it, and it was only later on that we ended up revisiting it through kombucha still. Cordy had learned that you could brew kombucha vinegar, and it's really, if you let kombucha just keep on trucking, eventually it will become vinegar and stop fermenting. So we have this really interesting vinegar that tasted quite a bit more mild than apple cider. And we just figured, well, we can only make, you know, so much salad dressing with this. Like, what else is there? and it brought us right back to shrubs. Like, well, what if we, you know, made a shrub but not with apple cider? And, you know, took a lot of what we had learned from kombucha making, and that first experimental batch was really good and really compelling.
Just clicked, and it all came together. And we were like, okay, here we go. We just need to fully eliminate the apple cider vinegar idea and move on and experiment with different vinegars. There's just so many types of vinegars out there.
You know,
endless.
Across the world, you know, we started just scouring stores and different suppliers and online places, just trying to discover, you know, all these different vinegars that were available, while still, you know, trying to find things that were clean and pure, didn't have, you know, any odd additives or preservatives in them. And we started just to experimenting at home, making recipes. It wasn't with the goal of Shrubwell in mind. It was really just our own curiosity.
Trying to overcome Chris's picky palate, right? Like
exactly, yeah. Trying to please his palate.
Yeah.
It's the hill with no peak. Like, you're just going to keep climbing.
But so high maintenance.
Well, he is like a super taster. So he can just taste every little thing. So for me, it's perfect. I love flavor pairings. I can eat anything and love it. I am not picky at all. I love cooking. So for me to try all these different flavor pairings and to pass it off to him, and he can give me these nuanced explanations of what works and what doesn't, I can go back into the kitchen, adjust the recipe, and just get it right to where we have it perfect.
That's a good combo.
We're a good team.
Yeah, very good team.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but you have to be open to it, Courtney, right? Like it's you have to be able to be open to it, because otherwise you're like, nope, it's great. Like I don't want
to. Which was also a learning curve.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well,
yeah, learning to get constructive feedback is difficult.
Just a smile, shake your head, and just walk away.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So are you from Arizona?
So I am. I'm
okay.
From Phoenix, born and raised here in Central Phoenix.
Yeah,
okay. Nice.
I'm from Ohio. I moved here in 2004.
I moved here from Ohio in 2007.
Hey, fantastic.
Yeah. What part of Ohio?
Outside of Columbus, Granville, Ohio.
Okay.
East of Columbus.
I grew up around Youngstown, Ohio. Right on. The real dangerous part of the state.
Right? Yeah, right.
It's like, you know what? If we go around Youngstown, it'll add 3 hours to the trip, but it's worth it. Let's just go around Youngstown. Yeah. That's great. Luke, he is like the fourth or fifth person from Ohio, I feel, that we've had on the show that are
Yeah. I think it's is it Pat from Wilderness?
Or John from
Wilderness.
Yeah. From Ohio, yeah.
Gabe,
Right,
I think Gabe Gardner from Local First.
Yeah, our buddy. We love Gabe.
Gabe's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Gabe's been with us for the whole journey from getting permitted all the way through to now. So yeah, he's been a huge supporter.
It's awesome when we had him on, he kind of explained what they do with that kitchen and everything. It's amazing. And it's so cool to see, people, and this was something I was going to talk with you guys about, was the farmers market aspect of it. Is that's such a cool community too, and you see all those people going through that kitchen, creating things. It's awesome.
Absolutely. We are so lucky to have Local First to help us launch this.
Yeah, they were such an essential partner as we got going, really just for the very foundation of Shrubwell. Once we decided to make a business of it, one of the first things we needed was a commercial kitchen space. And that, even back when I was looking into doing cold brewed coffee all those years ago, that was the biggest hurdle and what kept me from pursuing it further. And Local First, with their community kitchen, is able to incubate new food businesses that, like ours, where it would just be such a challenge to have a traditional kitchen space that was leased just to us. And there's also a shortage of shared kitchen spaces in the Valley. There's not a lot of options out there. So when we were brand new, Local First Community Kitchen was also pretty much brand new. So, it's been really amazing to be a part of that and, be part of the programming in there and help out where we can and see it all come together. It's been really something, now that we've been at it for, it's been a year since we bottled our first batch on July 31st. And, now there's some new food businesses there in the community kitchen, just getting started. So it's
you guys are like the old guard, right? Like, like the veterans. Yeah.
I think we were the third business into the kitchen last year. So we, getting it started, a little growing pains, a lot of love, a lot of community, a lot of bonding,
problem solving,
crying,
frustration over, drain woes and things that, things that all get solved, but it's just the growing pains and, just a lot of learning about the new kitchen and how to share it well and take care of everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's been good, and we've made, fast friends with a lot of people who we shared the kitchen with, who, also sold at the farmers market. Whether it was the downtown Phoenix farmers market where we got started or even just at other farmers markets around the Valley, it's been a neat community to tap into.
It is. It's so cool to see it across the board, and that's why we've done Tap.az started that in 2017. That was all about craft beer, but then we're like, dude, this food scene is amazing. Like we're getting like if I know it's a beer podcast, but if a chef's like, hey, can I jump on? I'm like, hell yeah, you can. I'm not gonna say no to Tamara Stanger, So it just made sense for us to branch off and start a Taste of AZ to just start. I mean, the list that we have of people that we want to cover, it's getting out of control, to be honest with you. Like we have to all right, who do we, it's awesome. It's a great community, amazing people that, what I think is really cool. One thing that Luke and I really love about it is the food scene is really connected to the state itself, like the environment, right? The wildlife, like Arizona Wilderness does things, Sonoma Malt, but even ingredients. So that's what I was going to ask you. So you found I guess the adjustment in vinegar was the way to go, but then what did you start to do? Like have you always used like desert ingredients, Courtney,
I've tried. We love trying to forage things from prickly pear to citrus. I mean, there's endless citrus here in the valley.
Yeah.
Just people leave boxes of citrus out on their curb for free. There's just fruit everywhere.
It rots away on trees. And
the whole idea of a shrub is the idea of preserving fruit. So you don't need this perfect, beautiful, pristine fruit. You want the bruised fruit. You want that ugly fruit that nobody wants to buy. That's all great stuff for shrubs. So that was a lot of it too. It was just like, I'll take what you don't want.
And so, saving things from the waste stream, is really, important. Sustainability is a big factor in Shrubwell and what we do.
Yeah, the shrubs itself. It's, this idea of preserving the fruit so that you can enjoy it later on.
Yeah, to save this abundance that you have for later when it would otherwise go to waste.
Well, I love... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. So you love what?
I was going to say, so I love working with local or just regional ingredients, whatever I can get my hands on. I can work with into a shrub. Really, it's fun. Limit ourselves to just the 8 flavors that we have so far was probably the hardest part.
Just narrowing it down.
Yeah, that's great though. That gives you endless possibilities and I mean, I'm sure this is something you've discussed with places, but making custom blends for a certain place or things like that. It's that's really cool. So you figured out it's the vinegar, and then what led to the point where you're like, hey, let's this is it. Let's roll with this.
Yeah, it was it was I think really as we started we felt like we were getting close to mastering kombucha. We really had created something that we liked a lot and felt like, well, we should bottle this and just share it with people, because we started having just so many test batches. And when we finally ordered a case of bottles, it started to nearly collide with our discoveries with shrub making, and we ended up bottling our shrubs instead. And we bottled a few to share with some foodie friends of ours, just to share, really.
Yeah, I mean, we had so much of it. Can't drink all that.
Yeah. Particularly with
you
all
need to help us.
The experiments and test batches that we had.
Yeah.
So we have to get some of this out of the house. So we got really good responses, from friends and family. But then it's like friends and family. Come on, are they just being nice? And,
you have the cousin, but they also have the cousins are going to be jerks no matter what. Like, dude, this is like crap. This is crap.
Right. So we took one of the bottles, our favorite coffee spot. We like to hang out at Cream Coffee on Central and Camelback.
Oh, that's a good spot. That's they have like the store and stuff in there too, as you like. Yeah, a lot of white and.
It's Inside for the People, which is a really awesome shop.
Yeah.
And what we like about Cream, they really fuss over their coffee. Every day. Their espresso, their cold brew, their drip coffee, and they also they change it up pretty frequently, and they feature roasters from around the country, and odds are you'll get something different, every time you go in, and that's really nice. But they have incredible palettes there. All the baristas you know, it's fun to geek out and taste coffee with them, and you know, the taste notes that they pick out. And you know, we brought up a bottle to share with them, you know, with some sparkling water, and just, this is something, you know, we've been messing around with. And our friend there was really impressed, you know, and he doesn't he's not always the super, you know,
he's not very emotive,
bubbly, expressive, emotive, but, you know, so
Okay.
to impress him is,
I was pleased.
is
Big deal.
is notable.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't, you know, too long before it was like, well, you know, if you guys made this, we would serve this here, you know, at the coffee shop. We've been looking for a non-coffee, caffeine-free option to have on the menu for, you know, later in the day, or people who just don't drink coffee.
And that was kind of all we needed. We heard that, and we were like, all right, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
We
you knew.
sat around and brainstormed names nonstop at Cream, decided on a name at Cream, registered it, and we just took off from there.
Yeah. That's awesome. So it's almost like you guys knew. You just you needed a little bit of like someone saying, yep, it's legit. Like, hell yeah. Let's do this.
That's the push we needed for sure.
The push we needed. And
it's just, we decided it was like mid-May when we decided, let's go, let's do this.
And we had been looking for something to do together. We both previously have been business owners, owned our own businesses. Chris since he was 15, me since I was 21. So we are really used to doing things on our own business, having that separate. Chris helped me a lot with my business, but I really wanted to do something with him, really just work as a team where we had something that was equally ours, that we both would work passionately toward.
You know, it was really like wanting a kind of a lifestyle change, you know, something that wouldn't keep us in front of a computer all the time, like we felt like we had been. You know, and if we could jump into the food world, you know, that something that we love so much, you know, that it seemed worthwhile, you know, so getting some validation and, you know, sort of like permission to dive in was really, really awesome.
Scary though, probably too. Like, oh shit, now it's like,
we
gotta do this now. Yeah.
Yeah.
As
soon as we started the permitting process, then we were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We are the first permitted shrub makers here in Maricopa County. So when you're the first, it's
pioneering everything.
Yeah, just like All About the Booch was the first kombucha company to get permitted to brew kombucha here, and they had some hurdles, but they did it, and now they've paved the path for other people, which is great.
Awesome.
Definitely.
That's perfect. They're going to be on tomorrow, so they'll be right after you. They'll be the next episode.
I had originally gotten into kombucha brewing like 5-6 years ago. When I jumped back into it, I wanted to start fresh and get a good base for it. So I took their workshop. They do a kombucha brewing workshop. That's pretty cool. So we love them.
They're great people too. They're awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. So they've been big supporters.
So things start rolling for you guys, right? You're like, the permit, I can just tell from the way you said it, Courtney, that the permitting was not a very enjoyable, smooth experience.
It's not very straightforward.
It's
not a straightforward pathway. There's not a set of directions that you follow.
Wait, you guys want to plant shrubs? Is that what no.
Exactly. There was a lot of explaining.
Even like we set up, when we set up, we needed a bank account for the new business. So, we decided, well, we want to use a local credit union, and make sure we keep our money local. And, they're like, now this doesn't involve cannabis, right? Shrubwell.
I don't know. Do you want it to? That help? Yeah, exactly. Yes. Can you clarify that question? Yeah. But that is like, you probably have explained it so many times of what it is that it's,
Yeah. In every different direction, and it was a worthwhile pursuit. We definitely had, a lot of frustrating days where we weren't getting the right sort of clarity that we needed, but, perseverance pays off. And
that's what I would say. Just keep going.
Yeah, don't give up. It was definitely helpful, to have you know, each other in this because, you know, maybe even like looking back to the cold brew business that I was curious about years ago. I didn't have anyone else to keep pushing me, you know, to keep going when things got more, you know, more complicated.
Sure.
You know, so there would be times where we one of us would get burnt out, you know, or we need to make some phone calls and you know, shake some trees and try and, you know, get some answers. And, you know, it's like, I'm so tired of this, you know, but
I'd pick it up from there. And then when I was tired of it, he would pick it up. And so it's very helpful to have each other.
Yeah.
Do you wish you would have had your businesses together for years, or do you think that was what you needed to appreciate the partnership?
You know, we've always worked really well together with things. Courtney was a wedding photographer for 12 years. Nice. And I would tag along usually you know, for like the destination weddings. And
I would get him to work when we would go to like Cancun or Costa Rica. But here in Phoenix, no way.
Same way, probably the same way I help Luke. I hold a recorder. Like I'm just like,
I'm holding flashes, you know.
Hold still. It's like my arms are burning. I can't.
Yeah. Just step back. Nope. Step into that fountain. Just a little further back.
Right. But you've discovered you work well as a team, and that is crucial because it pushes you through those times where you're just like, F this, I don't want to. And you know, the other one's like Luke and I's partnership is the same. There are times where I'm like, dude, like, I can't do this. And he's like, cool, just chill out. We'll be good. I got it from here, and vice versa. And it's amazing what that can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's helped a lot, you know, and through all of it really, like, you know, as it progressed, you know, even like figuring out those first batches, you know, in the kitchen and in a new space and all new gear, you know, scaling up from, you know, our home kitchen, developing things to the commercial kitchen, making it all official, you know, it was fun problem solving, you know, but it was good to have each other because
it would have been funny to watch also.
Yeah. If we could have had like a time-lapse camera, you know, stuck to the wall.
Yeah, if Gabe has some behind-the-scenes footage from those first few weeks, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
We need to tap into that. We need to see if he's got that footage. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so what was it like scaling? Because I know a lot of breweries have that. That's an adjustment period, right? From being, you know, homebrew system, even if it's a really badass homebrew system, to like commercial. Like there's a brewery up by us that did a blonde ale. It was their first blonde ale, and it's supposed to be like 5%, but it was like 7.7 because of the efficiency. Wow. But they kept it. That's their toasty blonde, and people love it. Like it was a happy mistake,
happy accident. Yeah.
But you know, was that tough?
With scaling up, I think a lot of it, you know, more manual labor comes into play with a lot of it. You know, we use whole fruit for everything, you know,
and whole spices that we grind and toast and.
Yeah, you know, so when it comes to, you know, say like I have a bottle here, the cucumber ginger rose, you know, peeling cases of cucumber, it gets old after a while.
Hand peeling, like you've got like
we hand peel all the cucumber, and so we just put a good podcast on and get to feeling.
Yeah, it's now. Definitely. But you know, I mean, we found, you know, certain ways to streamline here and there, you know, and I think just as we got more confident in our process and our gear, you know, our batches go much faster, and you know, it's nice looking back, you know, now after a year, everything is, you know, smooth sailing, and we didn't really have any crazy chaos in the early days, but it was more just the unknown
and just getting used to working with that much volume.
Yeah. You know, so many, you know, gallon after gallon after gallon, all of it. But I would say that scaling up really benefited our process because, you know, so much of it is we're like averaging the collection of fruits and herbs and spices that we have all together. So, you know, perhaps, you know, if we're doing our watermelon fennel lime mixer, 15, 20 watermelons, averaging the flavor and sweetness of all those watermelons is
better
perfect versus just making a batch from like one, and maybe just luck of the draw, that one wasn't quite as nice as another.
Interesting. Yeah.
So scaling up has been beneficial in that way. It's really
it's almost made it easier and
everything just richer,
more consistent.
Ooh, very nice. Which is not an unexpected turn, right? Of like,
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's a good side benefit. So yeah, the manual labor increase, but it's worthwhile.
Getting stronger every day, though.
Heck yeah, sweating, flexing.
That's my workout.
Afterwards. Yes. Well, so for you guys to go to the farmers market, was it permitting all had to be done before you could even just start producing? Is that how that? Okay.
Yeah. For us to bottle and package a product, there's a lot of regulation ultimately that goes into that we need to conform with, both on a local level as well, as a federal level, with FDA food labeling requirements, and even more so, once you start shipping out of state. So we really, it had to be super official before we could sell anything. And we bottled our first batch on July 31st, but it was still about a month. We kept, producing batches and building up our inventory of all the different flavors. But it was about a month before we even had our first sales, and we did a pop-up event for the people, and had our launch there, which was a really great reception. We were impressed.
Yeah.
It was a good boost for us.
And then we started at the downtown Phoenix Farmers Market on, I think, October 15th was our first weekend.
Okay.
And so that took a little bit of time just to go through the application process, wait for responses.
Yeah.
We went through an interview process with some of the other vendors at the market, and they tasted and we chatted, got to know some people, and then we were able to start, I think, 2 or 3 weeks after that.
Like they had like a entrance, I wouldn't say entrance exam, but kind of like an
entrance interview, committee interview.
Committee review.
Yeah. That's interesting though. Like I like that. Like it's not just some jabroni that shows up with like, dude, I got kombucha and milk jugs, right?
Exactly. Yeah. They want to make sure that all of their existing vendors are still happy too. So they want to make sure there's not too much competition of the same.
The right sort of balance,
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was good. It took some patience in getting it all together, but once it was done, it was this quick scramble to design a tent and a booth, and just figure out all that.
And we had big hopes and dreams for our booth, but really when it comes down to it, you're putting this up every week, and you want to make it easy, you want to make it good looking, but still manageable to do on a weekly basis.
Yeah. It was. It was a journey, figuring out how to Tetris everything into the car successfully, and then put it all back in there when the market was over. And I kept getting frustrated with like how beat up our little humble Nissan Leaf electric car was just getting banged up from the process. And
part of being a farmer's market vendor.
Every vendor knows how this goes. But it was a lot of fun. In those first few weeks, we had a great reception early on, and introducing shrubs to people in that setting is a lot of fun. Most people go to the farmer's market, open-minded and looking to discover new things. And
yeah, and that's a big part of what we loved about the farmers market is the face-to-face interaction that we got with our customers, where we could encourage them to try something new. A shrub is not something that a lot of people have heard of. So just to get people to come up to the booth, talk to them, start a conversation, let them try it. And the fun thing about shrubs is that for somebody who hasn't tried them before, they can be really surprising, and surprising in a really good way, because it kind of gets all your senses going. It's really thirst quenching. So your mouth is going to start watering. You're going to want to take another sip and try to figure out what it is you're tasting.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers, built into our flavors the whole idea from the get-go was to have, something equal to a complex cocktail, even if there wasn't alcohol in there. So at the farmer's market, we will pour out, we have these cute little compostable sample cups, and we'll pour out a little bit of the shrub and top it off with some club soda. And, there's a lot of people, they're skeptical, or this seems like such an odd thing that you're telling us about. And then once they taste it, it's this really cool discovery. It sounds a little unusual, but once you try it, you understand.
And that was a big thing we loved about it, is that it is a whole experience. And that is something that you're missing out on if you aren't drinking. So if you don't drink alcohol, you're sober, you want to interact in a social environment. A lot of that really revolves around alcoholic beverages, whether it's beer or cocktails. So to be able to have this drink that you can drink alongside your friends that are having alcohol, and you can experience that social gathering, that social connectedness.
I guess that was the big factor for us, was when we were abstaining, we felt like we were missing out on the social side of sharing a drink with others, or hanging out at the bar. We missed the social side. Why was alcohol, required? And, it seemed like a lot more people, maybe it's partly like the age that we are and our peers, more people are slowing down a little bit on their alcohol consumption.
Yep. Our bodies are telling us things at this point, like, hey, I've been warning you, so this was your fault. Like, I told something, like, that was
for sure. So, it was really this way to have something that is really inclusive, no matter what your preferences are, and that you could mix up a cocktail for everyone, even if you're mixing in something different for everyone, but still all share, like a pineapple, shrub cocktail. And at the market, so some of our pitch, is like these are great for home cocktails. And some people say, well, I don't drink. And then it's an opportunity to sort of give them permission. Like, well, we made this for you, you don't have to abstain, you don't have to
have to add alcohol to it.
You don't have to be left out of the social situations, and it's really resonated well with a lot of people. And the vinegar provides this really nice, satisfying, I don't know, it almost replaces the need for alcohol, because it brings that level of acidity and complexity to the drink. So of course, when you add the liquor, that just adds another flavor profile to the drink, and it's lovely, but you don't need it. And that's kind of the beauty of it.
Yeah. And I know what you mean, because you want to have something that you enjoy, right? Like if I'm the designated driver, I go to work thing with my wife, she's like, man, are you having a good time? I'm like, I'm fine.
Totally. Yeah. It's hard.
But if I have something in my hand, like, right. Like, even if it's just, I've ordered Shirley Temples before, and I don't care. Like it feels good in your hand. It tastes, it's refreshing, right? It's not like I know some places make their own root beer and things, which is great, but I'm not having 3 root beers,
it's a ton of sugar, and it's, we needed something for the rest of us. And we really felt like Shrubwell, could satisfy that need, both on, coffee shop menus, also like at Arizona Wilderness, people can create their own local cocktail, picking a mixer, a local spirit or not, and mixing it like with Topo Chico. And it's a great way to, have a great cocktail and share in that social setting. No matter what you like, even if you're not into beer, it's some people who might venture in there as guests.
Arizona Wilderness has been great, because they understood what we were going for from the beginning. They just got it. And they've been huge supporters of us. We're really appreciative. That was a turning point for us when they brought us on to the bar downtown.
We absolutely adore their beer and their ethos, and everything that drives their business. And they had discovered us at the downtown farmers market, and invited us in to do a tasting with the team. And decided to bring on Shrubwell for the new cocktail program. And it was really awesome, to connect with them and to be able to, to add something new to that space and a new offering for their menu. It's really an honor.
Yeah, it is.
Do you remember the interaction that you had with them at the farmer's market?
Yeah. It was
Pat.
Yeah, Pat first came up to us at the market booth and tried our sample cups, just like everybody else at the market, and connected really well with it, and we got to chatting, and he introduced himself, and he took an interest to it, and I think we got an email
followed up
like later that day, and we got a meeting together, and then met with the rest of the team, some of the partners at the brewery, and it was really fun, doing a tasting with them, and teaching them about shrubs and how we got started.
Was that like an oh shit moment where it's like, oh shit?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. We're like, okay, we got to make sure that we are stocked up. Did we have enough? We did have enough product, luckily, but we were like, okay, I got to make sure we can keep up with the pace, which we don't know what that will be. We will find out.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. They were, they've been really awesome partners, and it was that. I think before that first meeting, we were sitting in the car, and it was sort of like, can you believe this is happening?
Yeah.
No way.
Because like we're such big like beer geeks and everything, so then just to get pulled in.
Did you know who he was before he introduced himself? I mean, he's a very he has that look, right? Him and John both have that look where if you've seen him once, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we.
I'm terrible at recognizing people, especially at the farmers market.
You do see a lot of people. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I was probably a total space cadet, until he introduced himself, and then I was like, oh.
Then you get flush, and you're like, oh man, starstruck. So then it just kind of started moving from there. Like you guys got on the cocktail program, and what's happened since then? Because I know there's more that you guys have gotten involved with.
Yeah, we continued, on at the farmers market and into like the holidays. Doing Festivus was
that was huge. That was
a ton
great.
of fun, and a big way to introduce Shrubwell to a lot of people in the downtown community. We partnered up with some other retailers and some other locations. Changing Hands bookstore has First Draft Book Bar inside, and Shrubwell is there on their menu as well. They really like to make mimosas with them in particular, which is great, mixing with champagne, or other sparkling wines. The versatility there is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we've brought on some other retailers. We were at Gather at the Churchill for a while, and they were really awesome partners. We've wanted to have different retail outposts around town, in addition to keep expanding to other farmers markets. But before the pandemic had hit, we had just divided ourselves on Saturdays. So that I was doing the Uptown Phoenix Farmers Market. So we would do 2 per week, and that felt like a really big leap.
Yeah, we had to double our booth and then separate, which that was a big part of the fun is doing the farmers market together.
Having someone there, even just helping unload and reload the car before and after, it helps a whole lot. So we streamlined a little bit, in having to duplicate the booth. We found some ways, just from learning, ways we could be a little kinder on ourselves and not like die for fashion with, some particular way of hanging the banner, just doing, things a little more practical.
So right before COVID hit, Chris had started at the Uptown Market. So he had done 1 week.
Yeah, one week
at the Uptown Market. And then yeah, everything happened. So
there seemed to have been a lot of excitement for a lot of people leading up. People were like, oh, my sales were at the best they've ever been. Oh, we finally got this figured out. Oh, we finally did this. Yeah. And then it's
amazing momentum coming off of the holidays and into spring event season.
Yeah, we did some fun events. Like we did a speaking event at the Desert Botanical Gardens, and we were able to talk about the founding of Shrubwell and like our sustainability efforts that we had. And we got to sample out Shrubwell with alcohol. It's nice when you can actually sample cocktails. You know, I wish we could do that at the market. But you know, that was a lot of fun. You know, and
we did a couple of the home tours around town, which was really fun too. It brought out a lot of people. So Central Phoenix has some historic neighborhoods that they host home tours in. So they'll open up like 15 to 20 houses maybe, and then they'll line the streets with local vendors. So people can shop.
Nice street fairs, and kind of, it draws up the community in a fun way. When the weather's nice, naturally.
Sure, yeah.
Kind of like a nice hyper-local activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. But now before we kind of wrap this up, I know Luke has a question, and he's been wondering this whole time, right, Luke?
Well, the question that is popping on my head right now is, you touched on kind of the complexity of the drinks that you're making, but then you said, I think it was watermelon, fennel, and rose. Is that what it was? Just some crazy combination. So how do you guys come up with these?
Oh, yeah.
That one was watermelon, fennel, lime. The rose one is our cucumber ginger rose. This was the watermelon, fennel, lime.
Yeah.
So it was really just a lot of experimenting. Like, I just really love to cook. And from a young age, I've loved to do this. With my siblings growing up, we would get into the kitchen and just throw ingredients together. We knew what would make the base of a cake or the base of a cookie. And we would make that and then just toss in some Gatorade powder or some...
I was thinking peanut butter chips, melt Gatorade powder.
Yeah, like put in hot sauce.
Yeah, hot
even
sauce.
If it seemed like it might be gross.
Then we'd say, okay, Dad, let's put a blindfold on, taste it. So we would do some taste testing, see what worked, what didn't. There were a lot of surprises. So that kind of set me off onto this, quest forever to find fun flavors. So I just started experimenting, pairing things that I thought would work. Some things didn't, some did. Some things just immediately worked. With the watermelon, fennel, lime, I think I had tried that just with cane sugar first. And it was just like lacking in depth. So I added in some local mesquite honey to it. And then that added like a nice softness to it, really smooth. So that was the ticket. So I'll usually just try to alter it until I find the right combo.
Yeah.
So do you just have like a tabletop of all these crazy different ingredients that you're throwing in there, or is it
usually, so I have a notebook, and when I come up with an idea, I jot it down. And so there's just pages and pages of different combinations that I think might work. And then if we're at the store or at a market and we see an ingredient that I've had on my mind, like, ooh, I've been wanting to try one with a tomatillo, then I'll just grab them and see what else I have in the kitchen. And sometimes it's a matter of like what's available, and we'll just experiment, see if it works.
Yeah. Sometimes, we would just come across some, maybe it's like dragon fruit, and it's just a curiosity. Well, let's see, what we can do with this, and what kind of vinegar pairings work well with it, as well as, what other layers can we add? And in all the experiments, we had a lot that were good, but some of them were like remarkable. And then others, we really
wanted them to work.
We really, really wanted them to work, but we just couldn't quite get it there, So we had to make some hard decisions on cutting some or giving up on some concepts. But the ones that we ultimately narrowed it down to very quickly, like those ones hit hard, punched hard right away. The cucumber ginger rose was like a slam dunk from the first batch.
And the watermelon, fennel, lime, a lot of people immediately connected to it because it kind of tastes like a watermelon Jolly Rancher in a way. It has this like tart sweetness to it. It's kind of nostalgic for that childhood candy if you're into that. So that one hit hard pretty quickly. So yeah, we've had some favorites that are standouts so far in the first year.
And you know, so some of what narrowed it down too was like we had we have our strawberry basil peppercorn that we're really fond of, and that was one of our early recipes that we settled on, and one of the early ones that we shared with friends and family. But we had some other, you know, variants on strawberry, some other takes on strawberry that were really, really good too. But they shared some ingredients that we ultimately used in different shrubs.
And we wanted all of our flavors to be very distinct from one another.
Yeah, you know, so that there would be something for everyone, you know, in the whole lineup. And
not just pulling one out of the 5 ingredients out and just replacing it and calling it something different. Like you wanted something truly different. Yeah.
So there are a lot of ingredients.
Yeah.
Too, when we were creating these recipes, we weren't creating these with the intention of starting Shrubwell.
And scaling up or anything like that.
So it was purely just based on flavor and what we liked. So once we had come up with these recipes and we're like, wow, cardamom is extremely expensive, but that's got to stay. You know, there's certain things, and
we really don't want to, you know, make any compromises. But I think that did steer some of our decisions on what flavors we would release. Was, you know, what ingredients will we be able to reliably get a hold of? You know, so many of our ingredients
That's a good question.
are local, but of course not all things reasonably can be.
We don't grow pineapples here.
Sadly.
They're not local.
True.
But, you know, most of our ingredients, you know, are more from the Southwest region, in you know, across the board and into Central America. But when possible, we do use local ingredients, you know, like our watermelon batches. You know, we just got to the end here of Arizona's watermelon season, you know, so that our watermelon batch, you know, is Arizona melons, and
all of our citrus is very easy.
With citrus, you know, we our seasonal, it's a grapefruit sage hibiscus that's all grapefruit from Sunny Slope and Arcadia that we collected, and our orange carrot ginger is all Arizona citrus as well.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, I mean, when it comes down to it, you want to make the best product, right? Like you don't want to like take a step back just to do like, okay, well, this is not that great of a product, but I'll use it, you know?
It's really like this, again, this was like, we chose to do Shrubwell because we wanted a lifestyle change, and we wanted to do something that we truly love doing every day. We were enjoying it. We connected with our community. We contribute something back to the community that we love. Contribute to the food industry in a sustainable way. So that's the goal. So that's
Quick
we've been enjoying it.
Quick question about the recipes. Do you have a recipe book and then a after 3 alcoholic shrubs recipe book? It's like, all right, pepperoni.
You can just tell by the handwriting. That's what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes those are good, though. A lot of times they're real bad, but
they really are. Yeah. We got some ideas still just waiting there to try.
Yes.
What if we create a cactus?
Why not?
Now, you had mentioned, Chris, you had mentioned something about the sustainability initiatives that you guys are part of, right? You had mentioned a couple quick things earlier, but what are some of the things that you guys are connected with?
Yeah, one of the things like at the Local First Community Kitchen that we share, you know, sharing resources alone, you know, it helps conserve a lot of energy, and you know, sometimes we're sharing the space with other businesses. One of the things we like to do in all of our batches is compost all of the waste that comes from it. So you know, like those cases of cucumber that we're talking about peeling. We're able to compost all those peels, as well as some of the pulp that ends up strained out, and like the rest of the cardamom pods that get strained out. That all gets composted in these bins on the backside of the kitchen, and the compost from those is used in community gardens. Up above the kitchen is affordable housing, and the kitchen is host to a number of programs that work with the community and teach kids about gardening is one of them. So behind the apartments are these gardens, and they're able to utilize the compost from the kitchen. So it's been nice, to reduce the waste stream in that way. At the end of our batches, we're always loading up all of our cardboard boxes and things into the back of our car to take home to get recycled, because there aren't recycle facilities there. And here at home, here in our home office, it's sort of our, warehouse, and this is where, our cases are held after we bottle them. So here in our house, it's powered by solar panels, and it offsets our energy consumption that way.
Nice.
We also drive an electric car. We bought a humble used Nissan Leaf, which has been a really great, reliable choice for us, and it allows us to haul everything to the farmers markets all electric. We do local deliveries through our website at shrubwell.com.
In the Leaf? Will you deliver it to me in the Leaf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't even hear us coming.
Yeah, we're very sneaky. It's the
what is that? Is that a drone? Oh, there they are.
It just appears. Poof.
Yeah, we just sneak up on you.
Just holding a cup of it, like,
yeah.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
Thank you. That's great, though. Because you were saying, and sorry, I hope it interrupt you, but it's giving back as far as like the creating something to provide as part of that food community, right? But then that other side of it, right? That bigger picture, that full circle of, like the composting and just the community garden. We love it. Like that's what we love about doing what we're doing is hearing all these stories.
Yeah. It's just that it's a small way that we're able to contribute back, and we're always trying to think about sustainability and, in our other efforts, whether it's how we, package things to ship out, which, has been a new dynamic for us, with the COVID-19 shutdowns. We finally launched our online store, which we had been, planning and intending to do, but the local farmers markets had really been keeping us so busy. It was a lot to keep up with, even just in producing batches. So it's been good to build that out, and we hope to always keep, improving wherever we can, and try to lower our carbon footprint.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. Luke wants to know, I don't know if you're going to ask Luke or if I should ask for you. Luke always is curious, how is it made? Like, how do you make it? Because I know we kind of, we went a little bit into each little piece, but what is, how is a shrub made?
Yeah, so a lot of it is, it all comes down, to processing fruit down.
Yeah, concentrating down the fruit and the herbs and the spices into a type of sugar. We use a variety of sugars, depending on the recipe.
But yeah, we use a vegan cane sugar was one particular thing that was really important to us. Many people aren't familiar with how a lot of granulated sugar is actually bleached white with what's called bone char, and it's charcoal from cattle bones. And in making our
that sounds real horrible actually.
Well, none of that ends up in the sugar. It is part of the production process. So even just using a more natural sugar that isn't refined in that way is another sustainable endeavor too. But blending in sugar, which helps with the preservation aspect as well.
And
so the sugar breaks those ingredients down.
Yes.
And so you put them in with the vinegar. Does it all go together?
Yeah, and then once it all goes together, the vinegar preserves the fruit. So the combination of the vinegar and the sugar preserves the fruit.
Yeah.
So it's really, the great thing about it is you don't have to refrigerate these. These came about before refrigeration. So it was because people wanted to preserve their big harvests. So keep this harvest throughout the year. They would pickle them, and the leftover brine they called a shrub, and they would mix in with water and drink it for a really refreshing beverage. So that's kind of the history of it and why you don't need refrigeration.
Yeah,
with these.
It's a cool thing with shrubs. You know, you can keep these on your bar cart even after they've been opened, and they're not going to go bad.
Interesting.
So they're really, I mean, the base of a shrub is fruit, sugar, and vinegar. So at its most simplest form, it's those three things combined.
And there's no fermentation with it, right? Like it doesn't, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no fermentation. And it's, we use, we don't, I brought up kombucha vinegar back in the day. Or earlier, we don't.
That was back in the day. I mean,
right?
depending on how we're judging that, yeah.
Back in the day, and you know, that was something that we ultimately couldn't pursue, you know, long term, because it's still actively fermenting and wouldn't be shelf stable. But because we're using these stable vinegars, it allows that it no longer will ferment. It's not possible.
Gotcha. Very interesting. I can't wait to try. I am embarrassed to say I haven't had a shrub yet. So,
well, we can fix that. For you.
Yeah. Okay. I see some boxes, some cases behind you. I'll take 2 cases of that one. What is the pink label? Yeah.
Perfect. We'll pull it off for you.
Thank you. But so what's the big picture with this? I mean, I know current, you know, the pandemic, you know, we can't plan anything beyond next week, if that, but what's the idea for the big picture for Shrubwell?
Yeah, you know, in the immediacy, we really would like to get back to farmers markets, and we hope to expand, you know, beyond just the two of us and hit more parts of the valley so that we can, you know, spread our reach and introduce, you know, Shrubwell to so many more people. You know, we're really excited, you know, to get more bars and restaurants back open as well, you know, and build up more of those partnerships to get Shrubwell on menus and you know, as part of more cocktail programs and coffee programs. You know, longer term, I know that we definitely would like to, you know, go much larger beyond what we're capable of producing, you know, with our own two hands. Whether it's, you know, hiring more people, you know, in the near term as we scale up batches to, you know, eventually getting into grocery stores.
Yeah. Nice. You know, it's, I don't know, you go through the entrepreneurship, and you said you guys have been business owners for years, you know, you have that entrepreneurial spirit, but I don't know, it took me a long time to kind of realize, like, you got to love the process, right? You got to love, like, if your goal is to get here, 99% of your time is in that. And it seems like you guys are really enjoying this, the process of it.
We are. That was our main goal for this. It's really our main goal in life is really to have fun, to enjoy this.
Yeah.
And do whatever we can to just enjoy our time here. So
yeah, it's been, you know, it's a lot of fun problem solving, you know, and I brought up earlier, like a lot of things in life pointed us, you know, towards Shrubwell, and you know, just a lot of skills that we picked up over the years that have been really helpful in building this business, you know, just the two of us. You know, all of our marketing photography is done by Courtney. I developed our website, you know, and all the branding and packaging and all solving, you know, logistics and sourcing all of our ingredients and things. And it's been fun, you know. We're excited for. There's always more, you know, new challenges in trying to grow and expand, and we're really
ready to tackle.
Yeah. I feel like after this lull, we're especially.
Courtney's
ready.
like, just say it. Let's go. We're ready. Come on, Chris.
We're ready.
Doing
Yeah,
this.
it's fine. That's, you know, it's been tough with COVID, but we are lucky that it is just the two of us. We weren't in a position to have to lay anyone off.
Yeah.
We only have to worry about ourselves. So
yeah, we've been able, you know, to keep our overhead low and, you know, be patient.
And pivot to online sales. And that's been great. We do love the local aspect of this, though. That was a big thing about the farmers market that we loved, is being face to face with people.
Yeah, we miss that a lot. It'll be nice to get back to the markets. We feel like we're in front of computers all the time again.
Yeah,
right.
The very thing we were trying to escape.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, how did this happen? Somebody's laughing behind the door.
Again.
Like,
damn it.
yeah. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming on the show. Like I said, your impact is growing, and to hear so many people talk so great about you guys. I'm excited that we got you on the show. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very appreciative.
Where can people find your stuff? Like your website? Where can they find Shrubwell?
Yeah, so the best spot is shrubwell.com, and we do free shipping for orders $40 and up. We also do local delivery or local pickup for those of you who are in the area in Central Phoenix. Okay. And outside of that, For the People and Cream Coffee is a great place to go. You can buy bottles, both large and small. They're even at the walk-up window for cream coffee. And they also serve shrub sodas, which is nice.
Ooh,
in
nice.
this hot weather, you can pop in there and get
Shrubs are perfect for Phoenix summer.
So, yeah. Really great in the heat. Mm-hmm. Also, Arizona Wilderness Brewery downtown is a great place to go and enjoy them. You can mix and match and create your own cocktails there, and pick from 4 different mixers, Shrubwell mixers there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And yeah, that's your best bet. You can always find us also on Instagram at Shrubwell, and we're always posting up new recipes and cool cocktail ideas and lots of fun stuff.
Nice. Well, we love it. So I have to taste it first before I can say I love it. So I was gonna let you know. I got it. It's like the farmer's market. You gotta come through me. We'll decide if we're gonna air this afterwards now. But no, I'm excited. Just the story itself and you guys and just you guys are doing cool things. So keep enjoying that journey. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for letting us share it.
For sure. Well, we'll meet in person at Arizona Wilderness one of these days, and we'll have a cocktail.
I can't wait. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Hopefully this fall. Fingers crossed, huh?
Yes, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
You too.
Well, everyone, we hope you had as much fun as we did on that episode. The people from Shrubwell are truly a blast to hang out with. Make sure you order some of their mixers because they are fantastic even if you don't like alcohol. Just throw them with some sparkling water and you're good to go. Make sure to follow Shrubwell on social media as well as A Taste of AZ. See you next time.